Hey everybody, Chris G here, Hard Hat the CEO. Again, it's now Thursday, and we're going to be having a good discussion about how we can help ourselves. And to help me do that is Stanley Bronstein, all the way from Scottsdale, Arizona. And every time I think of Scottsdale, I think of my dad's old pickup truck. But anyway, that's what happens. Or we just have a little. It doesn't matter. Little stomper trucks. You ever
Yeah.
have? I love my little Scottsdale stomper truck. But be that as it may, we're going to get on another subject. Stanley, tell us about yourselves and what we're going to talk about today.
Okay. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm an attorney. I'm a real estate attorney and CPA.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, I've had some major life changes, which we're going to talk about, which got me into where I practice law much less. And I spend more time as a life coach, helping people to make some of the changes that I've made. So what's the change I made? I'll show it to you in a picture. I used to weigh 367 pounds. Today I weigh 145.
And for those who are listening and not watching, this is a significant change in physical appearance.
I'll give you a better example. I'm
Yep.
I'm 5'7". In the picture on the left, I had a 58-inch waist. In the picture on the right, I have a 31-inch waist, and I'm still 5'7". The two people in the picture, they have the same DNA, but they are not the same people. Made changes.
So what was your one weight? Because it's almost double.
367. My
367.
big weight, and it was more than double. 367. Today I'm about 145. So I've lost 220 pounds and kept it off.
To my listeners, why is that important?
Why is it important?
Yeah, I mean, I know why it is. But
If you want to live, do you want to live?
Yeah.
And when you live, do you want to be healthy? You know, there's two terms I want to introduce here. First one you've probably heard of, lifespan. How long are you going to live? And then the second one is health span. How long are you going to be healthy while you're alive? See, a lot of the problems is all too many people, they might live to be 70, even 80, 85, but the last 10 years of their life suck.
Well, I was going to add the third, quality of life, because you can have a good lifespan. You can have even a healthy or unhealthy lifespan, but the quality of life is
Absolutely. How good is your life? Quality of your life. You know, if you have grandkids, are you going to see them grow up? Are you going to be able to go to their wedding? Are you going to be able to dance at their wedding? You know, all those things.
Yeah.
Those are all important. They're all things that most people want to do. And why I'm talking with you today is, you know, as a real estate lawyer, I've worked with a lot of contractors over the years, and I talk to a lot of contractors over the years, and I see a lot of the same things over and over and over. Because one thing that most contractors know, you're always on the go. It's hard for you to find good food to eat when you're out and about.
Yep.
You're always eating fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, Kentucky Fried Chicken, you know, sandwiches here, this, there. You're always eating that kind of stuff.
Quick shop food.
Yeah, quick shop food. Okay. I call it fast food. And the reason why I do that is, I told you this before, you know what you get when you take the S out of fast food?
I do now.
You get fat food.
Fat food.
Yes.
Yep.
Or as they say, whoever put the S in fat food to make it into fast food was a marketing genius. So
speed food. S is for speed.
Yeah. But it's not food. It's not healthy. It doesn't have any nourishment value to it. Like I'm going to share a story. I'm going to share one story with you right now.
Sure.
I had about a year ago, I was getting a bathroom remodel in my house, and I found an electrician to do I needed a few things rewired, some outlets put in, that kind of stuff. So I found an electrician. Turned out it was a family electricians, a father and his two sons. They both came over the house. Father was skinny as a rail. One son way overweight, the other son really overweight. They were here all day working. We started talking, and I started telling them my story, how I've lost weight, how I eat healthy, and all this. I showed them some of the food I had that I prepared for myself, and it was all things that they like to eat, but they didn't know how to prepare them properly. Lentils, beans, rice. You know, they were Hispanic. A lot of things they normally eat, but prepared in a way totally different than the way they typically prepare them. So we're talking about all this stuff. The father says, I need to have my wife talk to you. She's about 45. She feels horrible. She's got no energy. She's got diabetes. Or I think it was pre-diabetes is what it was, you know, and just beginning stages. She doesn't feel good. She needs to talk to you. I said, I'll tell you what, bring her over to my house next Saturday. So he brought her over to the house the next Saturday. We sit down and we talked for 2 hours. I asked her everything. I took her through a whole checklist. What do you like to eat? What do you not like to eat? Got all these things. Okay. She's pre-diabetic. Gone to the doctor for it. Her doctor's got her on diabetes medicine. Mm-hmm. She starts telling me what she eats. She drinks regular soda pop every day with the sugar in it.
Yeah.
I said, did your doctor tell you not to drink that? She said, no, didn't say anything.
Well, they probably selling her metformin.
Exactly, metformin.
Yep.
So I see you're all too familiar with that, unfortunately.
Oh, unfortunately. Oh, I'm past that now. But yes,
good. So I said, you got to quit drinking soda pop. I said, that stuff's nasty. It's not good for you. And then we identified a few other things. Okay. She likes flour tortillas. I said, well, you eat corn tortillas. She said, yeah. I said, flour tortillas have no nutritional value. They're garbage. Corn tortillas are great. They have no added sodium. They have nothing in them. They're good. Eat corn tortillas instead of flour. She said, okay, I can do that. And then I have this lentil mix that I make that I've learned to sprout lentils.
Okay.
You don't cook them. They sprout, and you eat them raw. They have more nutritional value.
And they're still tender because they're sprouts, right?
And they're still tender, yeah. And they're delicious. They're really good on top of salads and stuff. So I already had some made. I gave her some, and I gave her a kit how to make them. And I have a video recorded on my website that tells people how to go through the process, an 8-minute video. So I said, here's the video. Here's this kit. Eat these lentils I gave you. Can you go 1 week without drinking any soda pop? She said, yeah, I can do it for 1 week. So no soda pop for 1 week. And then I said, and I showed her oatmeal for breakfast. I said, this is the oatmeal I eat every day for breakfast. Plain oatmeal, no added salt, no added sugar. Throw fruit in there if you want. She says, I can have fruit. I'm diabetic. I said, you don't understand. Your doctors don't tell you this. If you have sugar, like in the form of donuts and stuff like that, you can't have that if you're diabetic. But if you have fruit sugar, because the fruit is full of fiber and has fiber in it, your body processes the sugar more slowly.
Differently.
Blood sugar doesn't spike. So I said, eat oatmeal. I want you to eat oatmeal every day for breakfast. And I gave her some. I said, here's a big bag of it with some of it already mixed. And it had chia seed, hemp seed, flax seed, stuff in there to add iron and fiber to it, more protein to it. So I said, eat this for breakfast every day. Don't drink soda pop. Eat these lentils and start growing a batch. She said, and I do that. So do that for a week, and I want to talk to you again next week. And that was Saturday. And one of the things she told me when she started Saturday, she said, I can't poop. I'm constipated. I'm miserable. I feel horrible. Well, Wednesday morning at 6 a.m., I get a text from her. And the text says, I just pooped. Yay! I feel so good.
Her BM. At least you didn't see that picture.
Yeah. But she felt good.
Yeah.
You know, okay. Since that date, it's been almost a year. She's not had a single soda pop. She's lost like 60 or 70 pounds. I saw her husband and her 2 kids just the other day because they were doing another job in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Saw them. They said their mom is still eating those sprouts every day. She's lost 60 or 70 pounds. She feels fantastic. She looks younger. She just had one of her sons just had a baby. So she just had a grandbaby. I said, good, enjoy all this stuff. Enjoy your life. And I'm trying to get the kids going too. And I said, you've seen what your mother's done, you know? And I said, look, I know it's hard for you because you're on the road all day. I said, that's why you have to start making your food at home. That way you know what's in it, you know it's healthy, and you put it in a cooler and you bring it with you, and that's what you eat. And I said, and not only will you be healthier, you're going to save money.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give you an example. One of my neighbors down the street, she's very skinny. She's single. My wife and I are friends with her. We walk dogs, every night we walk our dogs together. So we're friends with her. I'm trying to put 5 pounds of muscle on her because she's really skinny. So I made her big, huge pot of beans with a huge pot of grain, farro grain, which is much higher in protein than even brown rice.
Mm-hmm.
Much better. Big pot of, big pot of beans, big pot of grain, enough stuff to last her for a week. You know how much it cost me? Max $20
For a whole week. Yep.
for a week's worth of dinners for her. It's cheap.
Yeah.
If you make it yourself. And there's no added salt, no added sugar, and there's no garbage. It's delicious. She likes it. I like it. My wife likes it. We eat it all the time. It's delicious. So go ahead.
I was going to say, so when you start eating healthy, what's this, I guess, side effects? It's not really, or you get clarity, I guess, in your mind?
Oh, absolutely.
Start feeling better, I assume.
You get clarity. Your energy level goes up. Okay. I'm 66. I walk a half marathon or more every day. That's 13 plus miles every day. I don't drink coffee. I don't take any stimulants. I'm on no medication. I just had my physical done a month ago. I will put my blood work numbers up against any 30-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably beat them. And I was not in this good a shape when I was 30. The answer is you start getting younger and you feel better and you have tremendous energy and you can get stuff done and you live longer and you're happier. Your clothes fit better. You'll look better. All those things. Those are the side effects. And you're a little bit nicer person too because you feel less grumpy.
Yeah.
When you don't feel like crap, you're a little bit nicer to people.
You don't get hangry.
No, you don't. You don't
eat properly. Yeah.
That's hungry, angry. It's hungry and angry.
Yeah.
Angry. But no, you don't. See, one of the things I've learned is that if you only eat healthy food and you quit eating when you're full, you don't have to count calories.
Yeah, it doesn't. The calories aren't as important.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You can't eat, 100 pounds of something in one meal.
Well, you physically can't because if you're eating the right food, your body won't allow you because it just won't allow you. It comes natural. It comes natural. Yeah.
It absolutely comes natural. But so you feel better. I'll give you another contractor story. Another contractor who does a lot of work in my neighborhood. He's done work on my house, and I referred him to a bunch of other people in the neighborhood. I saw him last week. I have been trying to get him for months to come talk to me, just like the woman did.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna charge you. So it's not money. I said, I'm not gonna charge you. I want to help you. Every time I see him, I said, you're getting bigger. I said, you look worse and worse. and I see his energy. See, when I see someone bending over and grunting and groaning, I feel it because I've lived that.
Hmm.
I know what that feels like. So it really, it bothers me. You know, I can step into their shoes. I see that, I feel their pain. So I told him, I said, you're looking worse and worse. I said, you need to do something. And he always took it to me. He says, well, I'm busy and all this and all that. And you know what I told him? I said, you're always going to be busy. And I said, you know, when you're going to stop being busy? When you're dead. Keep going the way you're going. You'll be dead and then you won't be busy. I mean, that's cold, but that's the truth. And it's just like, you know, I had the same thing. I was getting ready to turn 50. I wasn't at my full max of 367, but I was 320 at the time. And I woke up and I said, where am I going to be in 5 years if I keep doing what I'm doing? And
Horizontal.
and the answer was dead. And I said, I don't want to be dead. So what did I do? I quit drinking alcohol. I quit drinking soda pop. I quit eating red meat. And I started walking every day.
Now, some of my listeners might say, well, I'm not fat. And there's a difference. Well, there's a couple types of fat. Well, visceral fat and I guess what belly fat, I guess would be the other one.
Yes.
So the visceral fat's it's the stuff that you can look thin, I guess, but it's surrounding your not arteries, but your organs.
Yes, exactly.
We want to get rid of that one for sure.
Yeah.
It'll kill you. That's danger killed me. So the visceral fat, and that comes just from getting rid of the bad foods, right? Because in that visceral fat just storing.
It helps. It helps absolutely getting rid of the bad foods. And some things I want to emphasize, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Life is a long-term game. The problem is we live in a short-term world. Everything is instant. Uber, Alexa, Siri, Amazon Prime deliveries. Get it yesterday, you know, kind of thing. Streaming video, everything instant.
Well, even the food.
Yeah.
What's that? Uber Eats, and there's some other ones. I don't have it out here in Central Missouri, but what's the ones that just bring it to you?
Exactly. And, you know, I love drive-ins, all these fast food restaurants. They have drive-ins, people who can't even walk out of their car to get their poison.
Yeah.
And it's all of this accumulates. See, we need to learn to think in decades and act daily. See, I used to go to Chinese buffets every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then come home at the end of work and drink scotch, bunch of scotch, and sit on my butt. Is that going to get me in the kind of shape I wanted to be in? No. But somebody did say that will get you in shape, just not the shape you want to be in.
Right.
You know,
he'll give you a definite shape.
Yeah.
And lots of curves.
Yeah, lots of curves and nice and cushy and soft.
It crinkles. Yeah.
So I am, you know, when I learned to start thinking long term, and I realized every time I went to a Chinese buffet, every time I came home and drank scotch, every time I sat on my butt, I was knocking hours, days, weeks, months, years off my life, and I was reducing the quality of the life I did have while I was alive. And you need to make that mindset shift. You start realizing that. But you also need to tell yourself the truth, not BS yourself. When I sat there and I said, I need to make changes or I'm going to be dead. You can't tell it like it is any more than that. But there's a second part to that. Once you tell yourself that, you need to permanently act on it. See, the problem is that was not the first time I told myself I needed to do something. And it wasn't the first time I acted on it. But it was the first time I permanently acted on it.
So what was the difference? What caused you to make that decision?
Couple of things. One, to be quite honest with you, the day I woke up, February 1st, 2009, And you notice it wasn't January 1st, it was February 1st. And you know why it was February, not January? Because I made a New Year's resolution and I blew it.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I said, okay, let's start again. And what did it was, to be honest with you, I was disgusted with myself. I won't even say I was ashamed of myself. I just like, I said, I have so much potential. I have the successful career. I'm smart. I can get things done. And yet I'm wasting my potential. And I said, this is disgusting. I mean, I don't know if you want me to use the actual words I used, but
no, that's all. I got the idea.
I was pretty harsh on myself.
Sure.
You know, I said, this is bad. Needs to stop. This is ridiculous. That's what happened.
So
I got fed up. I hadn't hit rock bottom though. I hadn't had a heart attack yet. Hadn't had a stroke yet. Knees hadn't given out yet. Those things were all coming.
it wouldn't take long.
Yeah, but so the point there is you don't have to hit rock bottom. See, it took me 49 and a half years to wake up and change my life in an instant. Now I help people to learn how to change their life in an instant without waiting the 49 and a half years. Now go ahead.
We got to change our mindset. We know that. We have to.
Oh, no. Whoa. Back up.
There's more to it. I know.
No,
Go ahead.
No, you don't have to change your mindset.
Why not?
You get to change your mindset. These
okay.
the words we tell ourselves. Let me tell you who taught me that.
Well, okay.
There's a story behind that. 2 years earlier, and she didn't even realize she was teaching it to me at the time. 2 years earlier, 2007, I was driving around the whole United States to interview 50 different people for a book I was writing. These were accomplished people. I was going to get their stories and I was going to put them in a book. And I started the trip in Honolulu, Hawaii. I mean, if you're going to do the United States, you might as well start in
Hawaii. You might as well. Yeah.
And be sure and bring your wife along too, which I did. Okay. So anyway, the very first person I interviewed said, are you going to be talking to Peggy Chun? I said, who's Peggy Chun? I don't know who that is. He said, you got to go talk to her. And so I found her daughter. I called her on the phone. I told her what I was doing. I said, can I come over? She said, yes. Came over to the house. When I met Peggy, Peggy was in the terminal stages of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. She was completely bedridden, on a ventilator, could not move, could not speak. The only way she could communicate, trained people would hold up an eye chart and they could read her eye movements and she could spell out words. So it took me 2 hours to do a 20-minute interview with Peggy.
Wow.
When I saw her, the thought that went through my mind was, if I ever get like that, I want to be dead. Put a pillow over my head and take me out, please. But that was not Peggy's attitude.
Not Peggy.
Peggy's attitude was, my grandkids are coming over later today. I can see out the window. It's a beautiful sunny day today. They're going to take me outside and I'm going to go outside with my grandkids and we're going to paint and we're going to have a great time. He said, you're getting ready to drive around the United States and you're going to interview these 50 amazing people. Tell me about every one of them. I want to hear their stories. It sounds like so much fun. I wish I could go with you. So this woman who is in a state where I would want to be dead had more joy for life than any person I've ever met in my whole 66 years. That's why I still remember her. It's been almost 20 years and I still remember her like it was yesterday. So any morning, I didn't want to change. I didn't want to do the things I decided to do. I said, oh, I have to eat healthy today. I have to walk today. I don't want to. I sat there and I said, you know the saying, what would Jesus do? I started saying, what would Peggy Chun do if she could? And the answer is Peggy Chun would have gotten her lazy butt out of bed. She'd have gone for a walk and she might not ever come back because she was having such a good time. So anytime I didn't feel like doing it, I said, this is for you, Peggy. And then I went and did it anyway. So it's all about changing your perspective. Chris, you don't have to do a damn thing in life except die. The only thing you have to do, you don't even have to pay your taxes. You might go to jail, but you don't have to pay your taxes.
You get fed too.
Yeah. Yes. All you have to do is die. That's it.
Yeah.
So, so you get to do these things. It's perspective. Go ahead.
Well, Stanley, if I'd say, well, I've done this before. Like you said, I've tried before. What's the real secret? Is it like baby steps? Commit to one thing and then make it a habit, or what's the solution?
I'll tell you, first of all, everything I'm telling you is part of a system that I put together on this whole thing. And the system's going to is on my website, which I think you're going to probably put in the show notes, thewayofexcellence.com, thewayofexcellence.com. And there's videos on there. You just watch them one at a time, one a day. There's 20 of them. In less than a month, you'll learn the whole system. And it's free, no charge. I'm giving it to you for free. It's my gift to you because I want to help. Now, what's the secret? Real simple. 2 words. Beat yesterday.
Okay.
Your goal is to be better today than you were yesterday. Be better tomorrow than you were today. Get started. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Never stop. Persistence. Never stop. Get started. Keep going. If you fall down, if you make mistakes, you have 2 choices. First one is you can beat yourself upside the head, say I'm a failure, say I'm no good, I'm worthless, and then go right back to your old habits. Trust me, I've done that way too many times.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can sit there and say, mistakes are proof that I'm trying. What can I learn from these mistakes? I messed up yesterday. I'm going to pick myself up today and I'm going to get started again. See, that's what I did February 1st, 2009. I messed up. Yeah, January 1st, I set a resolution. I was going to start getting in shape and I blew it. But I picked myself back up and I started again on February 1st.
And it was better than January 31st.
Yes. And that time. But now let me teach you something about beat yesterday.
Yeah.
You're a human being, and we're all human beings. I can guarantee you with 100% certainty, you're going to have days where you fail, where you screw up big time. Guarantee it. Promise you. That's my gift to you. I promise you that. You're going to have days where you screw up.
Yep.
The question is, do you beat yourself up? Tell yourself you're worthless? Or do you say, okay, I screwed up. What can I learn from it? Start over again. And see, now listen. Okay, I had a bad day. Say I had a bad day today. I screwed up. I didn't beat yesterday. But maybe you did. Because the old you, the past you, would have beat yourself up and would have quit. But the new you is picking yourself back up and getting started again. So you are beating yesterday. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And realize this is an evolutionary process. The person I am today is nothing like the person I was 17 years ago. Nothing. But I didn't become that overnight. It's what I have grown into, what I have turned into. And I'm not finished. I'm at the weight I want to be at. That doesn't mean I'm finished. I have other things to do. See, that's the difference between being a perfectionist and being someone who values excellence. When you're a perfectionist, if you're not perfect, you're no good. If the people around you aren't perfect, they're no good. But if you start from a different floor, a floor where you say good enough is good enough, become a good enoughist. Good enough is good enough, but just because it's good enough doesn't mean you can't work to make it better. It doesn't mean you shouldn't try to make it better. It doesn't mean you won't work to make it better. That's what being excellent is about. Constantly beating your yesterday. I am in year 18 of beating yesterday. And you know, the funny thing is, I haven't found my limits yet. You know, people ask me, how much walking should you do every day? I tell people, shoot for 20 minutes. It's all you need to do. 20 minutes a day. But I walk hours every day. You know, seriously, I have walked 2 hours or more every day for today is my anniversary, 8 years straight. Without missing a day.
Wow.
8 years straight. And the only reason I missed before that, I missed 3 days because I was sick as a dog. And if you don't count those 3 days, it would be 12 years. And you know something? Since I started eating healthy, I turned vegetarian 12 and a half years ago. And I turned vegan a little over 7 years ago. Since I went vegetarian 12 and a half years ago, I have been sick one time. And that includes, I got exposed to COVID and I didn't catch it. It didn't nail me. I mean, I got exposed to it. I could feel that I was exposed to it, but my body threw it off because I have a stronger immune system. I also had the vaccine, so I'm sure that didn't hurt me. But the point is, you build up your immune system. You asked me what the side effects were of eating healthy. Stronger immune system. You don't get sick. And guess what? Contractors don't get sick, don't have days where they miss work. So they don't have days where they don't get paid.
Before we wrap up, I got a question. In your way of excellence, how do you monitor yourself? Do you I want to say measure, but measure can be, but do you keep track? Kind of your progress? How's that work?
How do I hold myself accountable?
Right. That's a good question. There it is.
Okay. First of all, I'm a CPA, so numbers come naturally to me. I enter my walking every day. I track it. That's how I know how much walking I've done over the last 17 years. And to show you how much I've done, I went from a person who could only walk 2 or 3 blocks when I started to a person over the last 17 years at my present pace come June when I hit my birthday. I will have circled the earth at the equator 3 times in 17 years. That's a lot of walking.
That's a lot of walking.
But that's how I do walking is my office. That's where I do my thinking.
Right.
That's where I do a lot of my creative work because I spend time with myself. And I've already learned I'm the most interesting person I'm ever going to meet. You know, I've learned to meet yourself. That's where all the good stuff comes. So I track all that. I don't write down what I eat every day. I don't do that because it's too cumbersome. I just know that I eat healthy every day. I mean, and to show you, see, I'm 100% committed to eating healthy every day. And when you become 100% committed, it becomes easier. And you know why? Because you stop asking questions. Before Christmas, another Laura I worked with had cupcakes and cookies delivered to my house. She obviously didn't know my eating habits. I got them. I didn't ask myself, can I eat these? I didn't ask myself, should I eat these? I said, I'm not going to eat these because I'm not a person who eats cupcakes and cookies. That same neighbor who lives down the street, who I'm trying to fatten up a little bit, she's very skinny. She loves that kind of stuff. I gave it to her. She was happy. I was happy. Everybody was happy. You know, after my wife took 1 cupcake out of the package for us.
Okay, there you go.
But but you know, yes, I monitor what I'm doing. I track, I journal. I keep track of what I'm doing, how I feel. That's how I know things like about how long my streak is, you know, what I've done and that kind of thing. So yeah, I do take notes. But if you follow healthy habits, taking notes is not necessary. You can do it if you want to. You can do it if it helps you. You can do it if it makes you feel better, but you don't have to. Just know that you eat healthy every day. That's it. And you do that over time, You're going to get better, faster, stronger. You're going to feel better. You're going to you'll probably reverse your aging. I mean, I'm 66. I feel like I'm 30, except I wasn't in as good a shape when I was 30. And here's the funny part. You're going to love this. Men like to brag if they're as small as they were when they got married. Well, I am smaller than I was when I was 13 years old. That's pretty scary, sick.
That is something else. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it is the truth. I found pictures to prove it. So you can improve your health. Nutrition is so important. And it's not just nutrition, it's all your inputs. It's not only the food you're putting in your mouth, it's the thoughts you're putting in your head. You know, if you failed in the past, don't say you're a failure. Say, I've failed in the past. What can I learn from it so that I do better now? It's the way you look at it. It's the way you think. You know, okay, it is 9:40 in the morning here where I'm at right now. Do I have stuff to do today? Yes. Are there other things I could be doing right now? Yes. But I am spending quality time having a quality conversation with a quality individual. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe that is a quality, good way to use my time, energy, and resources, spending it talking with people like Chris. And hopefully getting a message out that might help some other people. That is a quality thing for me to be doing.
It's all about choices.
Yes. So make some good ones.
Well, that being said, that's probably the best way to wrap it up. Give me your website one more time. We're definitely going to put it in the show notes below.
thewayofexcellence.com.
Thewayofexcellence.com.
Yes, sir. Just put that in the show notes, please. If you go there, everything on there is free. I do work with private people privately. I do work with groups that costs money, but I purposely put everything on the website free because I know not everyone has money, especially a lot of contractors. And that's okay. The message, my mission is more important than the money. I'm fortunately at a stage in my life where I can help people. And that's my purpose. That's what I'm here for. It's what I want to do. It's what makes me happy. You know, think of it, I'm a contractor and the work I do is I build lives.
Well, Stanley, thank you for your time today. It's been a great pleasure. And congratulations on many years of being half yourself or more.
35% of myself.
35% of certain stuff.
Well, and actually about 40%.
I got you. But check the show notes below. And if you like what you heard today, please subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. Hit that notification button. It's all free. It helps the algorithm, helps me out. I appreciate it. Stanley, again, thank you. This is Chris G. Hardhead, the CEO. You guys, God be with you until we meet again. Bye-bye.
Take care.